Good morning and welcome back to my channel. In today's lesson we'll discuss the fourth unit of Advanced Grammar in Use, and we have past simple and past continuous on the agenda. Let's jump right in. First of all, we take a look at the reminder block A6, A8 and A13 to make sure that we do remember when exactly we use past simple and past continuous. We use the past simple to refer to a completed action or event in the past, or to talk about situations that existed over a period of time in the past but not now. These actions have no connection with the present moment. We can either say when something happened using a time adverbial. For example, a few minutes ago, last year, and so on. Aisha left a few minutes ago. We know exactly when it was. It was a few minutes ago. We use past simple here. Or assume that the listener or reader already knows when it happened or can understand this from the context. Michael continued the course even though it was proving very difficult. It was in the past. We know that now he isn't a student at the university. He works for a company and so on, and he continued this course in the past, and we know that it was in the past. We use past simple. One more, we use the past simple to talk about repeated past actions. For example, I saw my grandparents every week as a child. It was a repeated action. I saw them on Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, on Thursdays, and so on. One more example here is that in the morning, firstly, I got up, I had breakfast, I got dressed, I left my home, and so on and so on. They are the repeated actions, one by one. And please pay attention to the fact that past simple is used for facts, just short actions in the past, and they are like facts, like present simple but past simple. Past continuous, we use the past continuous to talk about a situation that started before a particular point in the past and was still in progress at the point. When he realized I was looking at him, he turned away. I was looking at him, a long action. I was looking at him. This started before a particular moment in the past. Which moment? He turned away, he realized, and he was still in progress at this point of time. Let me remind you that always when we talk about continuous tenses, we are talking about a point of time. If we use present continuous, it means that this point is now. Now I am speaking. Now I am sleeping. Now I am running. This point of time is now. If we talk about past continuous, this point is in the past. Yesterday at 5 p.m. I was having dinner. This point is in the past. And the future continuous, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. I will be swimming. Why not? I think it's quite clear, and we can come back to this slide. When we talk about two events or activities that went on over the same period of time, we can often use the past continuous or the past simple for both. For example, Mia was reading to the children while Ben was washing up. These two actions were simultaneous. While he was washing up, she was reading. They were doing this simultaneously. Or we can also use read and washed up, like past simple. Mia read to the children while Ben washed up. Okay. Using the past continuous emphasizes that the event or activity was in progress during the past period of time. While Ben was washing up. Compare. When I was learning or learned to drive, I was living with my parents. In this sentence, was learning emphasizes that the activity was in progress. I had lessons during this time. And learned emphasizes completion. I passed my test during this time. One more time. I was learning a long action which was in progress. Learned is like it was done it was finished, it was completed, I passed my test during this time, and I mean just the fact of it, not the progress. Next, when we talk about two or more past completed events that followed one another, we use the past simple, not the past continuous for both. She got up when the alarm clock went off. Here, she got up because her alarm clock went off. One by one, and here we use past continuous. We usually use the past simple rather than the past continuous to talk about repeated past actions. We went to Spain 3 times last year. First of all, it was last year. Also, I don't mean the period of these travels. I mean just the fact that we were in Spain 3 times. We went to Spain 3 times. Did you drive past your house every day? Did you drive every day? Every day, of course, yeah, in the past, but every day. Repeated action, repeated past action, we use past simple here. However, we can use the past continuous, particularly in spoken English, when we want to emphasize the repeated actions went on for a limited and temporary period of time. When Kata was in hospital, temporary period of time, limited period of time. We were visiting her twice a day, or we visited her. If we want to emphasize the limited period of time, we use past continuous. We were visiting. And if this is just a fact, we visited. Quite easy. To lose weight before the race, I wasn't eating any biscuits for weeks, or I didn't eat. If I want to emphasize that I wasn't eating them and it was very difficult for me, I was suffering from that, and so on, I wanted but I didn't, and so on and so on, I use past continuous in spoken English. And if it's just a fact that, well, I wanted to lose my weight, so I didn't eat any biscuits, I use past continuous here without any emotions. Or to talk about something that happened surprisingly often. For example, last week I was having to bring work home every night, surprisingly often, to get it all done, or had. If it's just a fact, okay, I had to bring work home and so on. But if I want to emphasize that I was irritated by that, it was difficult, complicated, I didn't want to bring my work home, but I had to, and so on and so on. I was having to bring work home. When the builders were here, I was making them cups of tea all the time. I was making them these cups of tea, first of all, during this period when they were here. And secondly, I want to tell about the long action, just a long action. Or I can use just made, like a fact. We often use the past simple in a narrative, for example, a report or a story, to talk about a single complete past event, and the past continuous to describe the situation that existed at the time. Like on the backgrounds, for example, the birds were singing, the sun was shining, and I was walking home, and so on. The event might have interrupted the situation or happened while the situation was in progress. For example, Erika dropped her bag while she was getting into her car. She was getting into her car, a long action, and dropped her bag is a sudden action which interrupts her getting into the car. She was shaking with anger as she left the hotel. She was shaking, it was long action, emotional action, and she left the hotel. It was just a short action, left. What else? Or a classical, quite common example here that I was reading a book when my mom came into the room. And because of her coming, I can't continue reading now. So she interrupted me, and I was reading past continuous. She came into, or she entered the room, short action. We can use either the past continuous or past simple or past perfect with some verbs to talk about things we intended to do but didn't. We were meaning to call in and see you, but Mark wasn't feeling well, or we meant. Also, consider and ing, expect to, hope to, intend to, plan on and ing, think about, think of, ing, want to. These verbs, with the exception of mean and wonder about, can also be used with the present and past continuous to report what we might do in the future. Yes, in English we can use past tenses to express the future. The past continuous in less definite than the present continuous. I was thinking of going to China next year. I was thinking about that previously, earlier, and I was thinking about the next year. Next year, it will be in the future. But it depends how much money I've got. Less definite that I am thinking of going. I am thinking of going means that it is in my mind right now, and maybe we will go to China. Maybe we won't, but I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking about it carefully. We were wondering about inviting Eva over tomorrow. Less definite that we are wondering about. We were wondering means that it was in the past, and maybe now we change our and now we have changed our mind. But if we use we are wondering, like now, right now, it means that maybe it is very likely that we will invite Eva over tomorrow. Great. Exercises. Hooray! Let me remind you that firstly I show you the exercise, give you some time to do it by yourself, only by yourself, without me and my comments, and after that we'll discuss them together. The first exercise, complete the sentences using these pairs of verbs, these pairs. Use the past simple in one gap and the past continuous in the other. Okay. Just as I was getting into the bath, all the lights went off. I was getting long action, all the lights went off, short action. Okay, lights off, short action. Next. I was hoping to go away this weekend, but my boss gave me some work that I have to finish by Monday. I was hoping, long action in the past, and it is unlikely to be done in the future, but my boss gave, short action in the past, gave me some work. Next. When I lived in Paris, I was spending 3 hours a day traveling to and from work. When I lived, I was spending. I was spending means that every single day I spent 3 hours traveling to and from. But when I was living in Paris, I spent 3 hours a day traveling to and from work. I spent means that I just, it's a fact. Nothing more, without any emotions. I spent, and that's it. But when I was living, long action, we emphasize the period of time, a long period of time. A friendly American couple started chatting to him as he was checking in at the hotel reception. He was checking in, long action, and this long action was interrupted by the couple who started not urgent, abrupt action, very sudden action, so it was very quickly. And this couple interrupted him. I bumped into Lena last week. She was looking a lot better than when I last saw her. I last saw her, it was in the past, maybe 2 years ago. Past simple, short action. She was looking a lot better at this particular moment at the time in the past when I bumped into her. Short action, I bumped into, and during this point of time she was looking a lot better at this particular moment. By the way, bumped into means to meet someone you know when you have not planned to meet them. My boss came into the office just as I was showing everyone my holiday photos. I was showing long action, he came into short action. I was playing badminton 4 times a week before I broke my ankle. Long action, I was playing 4 times a week, it was for a long time, but I broke my ankle and now I can't play badminton anymore. I couldn't, well. This time use the same tense, either past simple or past continuous in both spaces. The smoke alarm went off when he lit a candle underneath it. Both short actions. I can't remember how to answer this question. I must confess that I wasn't listening while the teacher was explaining it to us. This option is about the progress. It means that at this particular point of time, when our teacher was explaining it to us, I wasn't listening. Long actions, simultaneous actions in the past. But I didn't listen while the teacher explained it to us, just about the facts in the past, nothing more. Next, she added more salt to the soup and then it tasted much better. It was in the past. She did firstly the first action and secondly the second action. Okay, they were one by one. She added and it tasted. Although the television was on, I wasn't watching it. Instead, I was dreaming about my holidays. The television was on this point of time in the past, and I was listening. Wasn't watching. I was dreaming. Long action. But we can also use past simple here. Like, although the television was on, I didn't watch it. Instead, I dreamt about my holidays. Just the facts in the past. She pushed open the door and ran into the room. Firstly, she pushed the door, and secondly, she ran into the room. One by one. Great! Next, look again at numbers 1, 4, 7, and 11 in 4.1. Which of these sentences could have both verbs in the past simple? What difference in meaning, if any, would there be? Take your time. Great. Let's take a look at the answers. First of all, the first sentence. Just as I was getting into the bath, all the lights went off. Or was getting and got are both possible. Was getting and got. The past simple suggests that one event followed the other. I got in and then the light went off. The past continuous suggests that the light went off as I was in the process of getting ready to get into the bath. Well, I think it's quite clear, very clear. A friendly American couple started chatting to him as he was checking in at the hotel reception. Was checking in or checked in above possible with a similar meaning. Using the past continuous presents checking in as the background event, which was going on as the couple started to chat to him. Well, 7. I was playing badminton 4 times a week before I broke my ankle. Was playing and played above possible, the past continuous suggests that this was a temporary rather than a regular arrangement. Great. And the last one, although the television was on, I wasn't watching it. Instead, I was dreaming about my holidays. Didn't watch and dreamt are also possible. However, the past continuous emphasizes that not watching and dreaming went on at the same time and seems more likely here. Didn't. Past continuous is better because just because. Well, seriously, past continuous is about long actions, not short actions. I can't even imagine the usage of past simple here. As for me, it is very weird, really, because I was dreaming about, I wasn't watching TV at this particular point of time. It is very usual, common, and normal for past continuous. But it's up to you. Let's continue. Complete this email with either the past simple or the past continuous form of the verbs in brackets. Where alternatives are possible, think about any difference in meaning. Well, I was buying some new earrings the other day in Taylor's The Jewelries when I actually saw somebody shoplifting. I was in process of buying. It was a long action, and I saw. It was firstly a short action, and moreover, this action interrupted the first action. Action. I'd just finished paying for my earrings, and as I turned round, a woman was slowly putting a silver plate into a bag that she was carrying. As for me, these options are the most appropriate here, but our student's book doesn't think so. Let me explain. I turned round. It isn't like I was turning round. It wasn't a long action. It was a short action. I just turned round. It was very quickly. A woman was slowly putting a silver plate into a bag. She was doing that at this particular point of time when I turned round. Then the bag, a bag that she was carrying. This is like an action on the background. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and this woman was carrying her bag. But we can also use past continuous in the third sentence. So here, like I was turning, but for me, I've already said that it is very weird. And past simple is also possible in 4. A woman slowly put. Okay, a woman slowly put. I can imagine that if this is just a report, and but it isn't. But if it would, we could use. Very strange for me. She just put it, maybe, like a short action, like a fact in the past. But it's still very weird for me. Well, let's continue. Then she walked over to another part of the shop and what? Pick up an expensive looking. She worked, then she picked up an expensive looking watch a number of times. One action by the other action, one by one. Sequence of actions in the past is in past simple. When she thought that nobody was looking, she dropped it into the bag. When she thought, she was thinking, it would be something like, I was thinking so much and it was very long and so on, but here she just thought that nobody was looking at the. This is a progress action, long action. Nobody was looking at her at this particular moment of time, point of time when she was shoplifting. She dropped it into her bag. Rapid action. Before I had a chance to tell the staff in the shop, she noticed that I was watching her and hurried out. Before I had a chance to tell the staff, I had a chance, very quick action. We can't imagine this in progress like a long action. No, it's just I had a chance, or I didn't have a chance. She noticed. One more time, it is a very quick action. We can't say that she was noticing. No. Moreover, the verb notice is about I couldn't see that, but now I can see it. I didn't pay attention to that, but now I do pay attention to that. Very quick changing. That I was watching while she was shoplifting, long action, was watching her and hurried out. This is like a sequence of actions. She noticed and then she hurried out. Fortunately, 2 police officers were walking past or walked past just at that moment, and she ran straight into them. Well, 2 police officers were walking, means that they were doing this at this particular point of time, but they walked, just a fact about them. And she ran straight into them. Quick, rapid, short action. I think it's quite clear. Let me remind you now that at the end of the book we have additional exercises, and if you want to do them, please just open the book. You can find it in my Telegram channel and do it by yourself. That's it. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you, and if it was, let me know about it in the comments. Also, let me remind you that I invite all of you to my individual online English lessons, where you can feel very, very comfortable to speak English. Now, I can let you go. Goodbye. See you next time.